Welcome to Easy Elite English, and this time we are bringing you a video on the easy steps to convert active voice to passive voice with minimum technical terms or with minimum grammatical terms. We will explain the concepts with the minimum of grammatical terms and words. So here we go on video of how to change active voice to passive voice in English. Now take the sentence, the dog chased the cat. That's the sentence we have in active voice, the dog chased the cat. Now here we have the dog as a subject, chased as a verb, and the cat object. And when we change it into passive voice, the cat, that is the object that comes first. The dog, which was the subject, comes last. And chased, one word, is replaced by was chased. So these are the main changes when you change from active to passive voice. What was the subject, the dog, comes at the end. The dog is coming at the end. What was the object, that is coming first, because now the cat is the subject. And chased is replaced by was chased. So the simplest 4-step method to change sentences from active to passive voice. A sentence may have 4 components or 4 parts: subject, verb. Of course, these 2 components has to be there. Object, if the verb is transitive, it will have an object, and the rest of the predicate may or may not be present. So subject and verb always present, object only if the verb is transitive, and rest of the predicate is optional. Now let us take the sentence. The poor fisherman catches many fish in the morning. The poor fisherman catches many fish in the morning. The poor fisherman, subject, that is 1. That was 1, and we have marked here 1. Catches, verb, that's number 2, and we have marked here, we have also marked here number 2. Many fishes, object, that is number 3, and the rest of the predicate number 4, every morning. So we have the poor fisherman, 1, subject, catches, 2, verb, many fishes, object, 3, and every morning, the rest of the predicate 4. Now to change it into passive voice, the 4 rules are, we have the 4 steps, rather 4 steps are: start with the object, that means we will be starting with the object. Change the verb into passive by adding a be verb and V3 verb form. As you know, be verb means be, being, been, am, is, are, was, and were. And V3 form of the verb, introduce the subject using preposition by. This is the subject, so by the poor fisherman, and write the rest of the predicates, that is every morning. This part you will write unchanged. So let us see one by one. The poor fisherman catches many fishes every morning. Start with the object, that means you will start with many fishes. Start with the object, many fishes. And you may ask, what will happen if there is no object? If there is no object, it means the verb is intransitive. In that case, no passive voice is possible. You can change only active voice into passive voice if the verb is transitive. For intransitive verb, there would be no passive voice. So, the object, many fishes, we will begin with many fishes. We will begin with the object. And also note that we take the full object phrase, the object word fishes, and its attributes many: articles, determiners, possessive, adjective, all the attributes, the full object phrase. So we start with many fishes, we start with the object. Now rule B, make the verb catches into passive. How? There is the verb catches. We have already seen that we are beginning with many fishes. Now next is the verb catches into passive. Add a be verb and a V3 form of the verb. For a simple present, the be verb is either is or are. For past tense, it would be was or were, but here we have a simple present, so is or are. But we have fishes, so we use are. We have fishes. If we had singular, we would be using is, but we have plural, so we're using are. So many fishes are. And the V3 form of this verb catches is caught. Caught is a V3 form. Catch, caught, caught, catching, catches. So caught, V3 form is caught. And be verb is are, so we get are caught. So what we are having? Many fishes, that is where we began the sentence. This, when it is passive, the be verb are and the V3 form caught. So many fishes are caught. Now rule C, introduce a subject by using the preposition by. This is the subject. This is the subject. So we introduce by the preposition by. So we say by the poor fisherman. This word we add. By is a preposition we are adding. And the poor fisherman is already there. So by the poor fisherman. So we are getting many fishes are caught by the fisherman. And rule D, keep the rest of the predicate every morning unchanged. So we keep it every morning unchanged. And finally we get the passive voice. Many fishes are caught by the fisherman every morning or every day. Hari played cricket yesterday. Hari, subject, that is 1. Played, verb 2. Cricket, object 3. And yesterday the rest of the predicate 4. So start with the object. That means you are starting with the word cricket. That is the first part of your passive voice sentence. Played. Now, how do we make it passive? You have to add a be verb, but it is past tense. So because it is past tense, we are using was, not is, we are using was. And played remains played. The V3 form is played and V2 form is also played. Here we have the V2 form and here we have the V3 form, but both are played. So played is in past tense, so we are using was played. Note that here it was in V2 form, but here it is in V3 form. But in case of play, both V2 and V3 are identical. So we have was, that is the be verb, past tense, was played. So we get cricket was played. Then introduce a subject using by. Hari is a subject and you add by, so you get by Hari. So cricket was played by Hari, and the rest of the predicate just copy it as it is. So rest of the predicate yesterday copy it as it is. So we get cricket was played by Hari yesterday. The batsman was hitting the cricket ball very hard. The batsman, part 1, subject, was hitting, the verb phrase, the cricket ball, the object, and very hard, the rest of the predicate. Start with the object, that means start with the cricket ball. So we start with the cricket ball. Use the be verb and V3. Hitting or hit, that is the main verb. The V3 is hit. Because it is past tense, was, we are using was. But here we have an ing form. So the be verb should also be in ing form. So we are using being. We have here an ing form, hitting. So here also we need be verb in ing form. So we are using being. Introduce the subject by the batsman. By, by the preposition, followed by the batsman, the subject. And copy the rest of the sentence very hard. So we get The cricket ball was being hit by the batsman very hard. Or you can also write, the cricket ball was being hit very hard by the batsman. The servants have cleaned the big hall. The servants, part 1, subject, have cleaned, the verb, the big hall, the object. We do not have the rest of the predicate, the extra part we do not have. So start with the object. The object is the big hall. What did they clean? Big hall. The big hall is a object. Note that you have to take the article the and the adjective big, the full object phrase. Not only hall, but the article as well as the adjective. The big hall. Now, be verb plus V3. So we have cleaned, that means it has to have a have or has, but because it is singular, here we had plural, the servants, so we were using have. Here the big hall, singular, so we will be using has. So has been cleaned, there is a be verb and cleaned is a V3 form. Introduce the subject by plus the subject the servants. So by and the servants in the rest of the predicate there is none. So we get the big hall has been cleaned by the servants. Now the passive form verb has one word more than active form verb. When we say kill or kills, we say am killed or is killed or are killed. One word in active voice and two words in passive voice. When we use is killing or are killing, we say is being killed or are being killed, one extra word. Has killed or have killed or had killed, we use has, have, had, been killed, there is extra word. We always have one word extra in passive voice. And note that the subject is not the object of the verb, it is the object of the preposition. That was Easy Elite English Educational Trust. WhatsApp us or email us. We will be coming with more videos, and subscribe to our channel and write to us on what topic you need videos. Till then, thank you and goodbye.